Hello, Eagle parents. Hey, this is Dr. Adrian bringing you this weekly update. I'm going to try to keep this one really brief, hopefully 3 minutes or less. The first thing I want to show you is our principals page. This can be found on our homepage of the Dunlap High School. You just click the principals page. It takes you to this page, obviously, where there's a welcome, and it will also show you where we have all of our video updates and our Google Docs link there so that you can go back and reference things a little bit quicker. The Google Docs are obviously our agendas for these little updates. But the video updates kind of give you more context around those agendas because they're not very detailed agendas, more like talking points. And then we have our pillars of culture that we worked on this summer and this past spring. Take a look at those. I think that really speaks to the core of what we value here at Dunlap High School. First of all, this was an awesome week for overall health. Dunlap High School had 0 positive cases of COVID here, 5 students in quarantine, 9 excluded from school. And remember, excluded could be they have a symptom of COVID and therefore they're excluded from school. And then 34 students returned off of quarantine or exclusion. So very, very good week of health for Dunlap High School. Super excited because, we were worried about that last week with Labor Day weekend. Now, obviously, some of that stuff could resurface next week. Hopefully not, but it could surface. But that brings me to point 2, eligibility. We ran our first eligibility for sports report this week, and I am disappointed, to say the least, of the number of students on that eligibility list. Mrs. Cazalet, in fact, said that this was the largest number of students that she's ever had on an eligibility report. And sadly, 90% of those students, maybe 80-90% of those students were remote learners. So like we've been talking about each week, remote learners, you need to stay engaged. Now it's coming back and it's going to really impact your lives, to be honest with you. So you have to stay engaged with the learning process. And we've got a list of students that are disengaged right now that myself, Mr. Johnson, Miss McGann are going to be making phone calls home because teachers and students have already reached out to them. Teachers and counselors have already reached out to those students and parents. So we're going to be doing that next week as administrators. We need to have you engaged. We're worried that we're losing some of you from this learning process, and it's just too important, and it's showing itself on the eligibility list. The next thing is you should have received a list or a survey from Miss Bagby at the district office for a new survey seeking input on the remote learning process, the in-person learning process, and the start of the school year. It's very important if you could complete that survey. I think one thing we've demonstrated is we may not always have the answers at Dunlap High School, but we're willing to take good feedback and make changes. And this survey is important for that. So we want to make this the best possible experience for your children and our students. And we need that feedback to do that. So please take the time to fill that survey out. I did it as a parent. It really wasn't that long. I think it took me less than a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes at tops. The last thing I want you to be aware of is that we did observe a moment of silence, and we said a few things this morning for 9/11. So your students, you may want to have a conversation with them about that tonight when they come home, and hopefully that will create an experience for them that they will get some more knowledge about how you remember 9/11, because obviously we were there, or we weren't there, but we were alive, and we remember how it impacted our lives. And our students were obviously very young, and some of them weren't even born yet. So good conversation at the dinner table tonight to do a little reflection. So, hey, with that being said, let's keep the momentum going. It's been a great week for Dunlap High School, and you stay healthy and you stay classy. Thanks, Dunlap.